It is a 120-mile ditch carved through the desert. But this one strip of water is the single most important shipping lane on Earth. 12% of all global trade passes through it every year. When it gets blocked, it costs the world economy nearly $10 billion a day. So how did this one canal become the world's economic lifeline? And why have nations gone to war to control it? The dream of connecting the Mediterranean to the Red Sea is ancient. Egyptian pharaohs dug early, primitive canals. As early as the 13th century BC, they started digging. Pharaohs like Senusret III, Ramesses II are credited with early canals linking the Nile to the Red Sea. But these works were at the mercy of landscape and the Nile. Maintenance was brutal. But the modern story begins with Napoleon. In 1799, he ordered a survey, but his engineers made a colossal error, wrongly concluding that the two seas were at different levels. They believed a canal would cause a catastrophic flood. The project was abandoned for 50 years based on this one simple mistake. They concluded the Red Sea was almost 10 meters higher than the Mediterranean. Based on the bad data, they said a direct, lockless canal was impossible, so the project was declared too dangerous and abandoned. The ancient dream was put on hold again, this time by a consequential measurement mistake. It was a French diplomat, Ferdinand de Lesseps, who finally made the dream a reality. With charisma and powerful connections, he got a concession from Said Pasha in 1854 and formed the Suez Canal Company. Promoted as a benefit to all humanity, it was also a geopolitical move. Starting in 1859, a massive workforce, initially of forced Egyptian laborers, began the brutal decade-long dig. They worked with picks, shovels, baskets. They toiled under the brutal Egyptian sun. Disease, malnutrition, and exhaustion claimed many lives. Over 20,000 laborers died in the first few years. As technology arrived, steam-powered dredgers and excavators, the mechanical giants chewed through the earth. Freshwater had to be brought in from the Nile. A separate freshwater canal was constructed to sustain the works. On November 17, 1869, the Suez Canal opened with a lavish ceremony. Royalty and dignitaries attended. It cut the shipping route from Europe to Asia by 7,000 kilometers. It instantly became the vital artery for the British Empire's connection to India. A triumph of engineering and a monument to human sacrifice and exploitation. For nearly a century, the canal was controlled by Britain and France. But in 1956, the Egyptian president, Gamal Abdel Nasser, nationalized it, seizing control for Egypt. This sparked the Suez Crisis. On July 26, 1956, he announced nationalization of the Suez Canal. Canal revenues would fund the Aswan High Dam. In a secret alliance, Israel, Britain, and France invaded Egypt to take the canal back by force. They launched an air and sea invasion. Militarily, it initially worked. The Egyptians sank ships to block the canal. The United States condemned the invasion. The Soviet Union threatened retaliation. For a moment, the world stood on the brink of a new world war. Moscow's threats and Washington's fury forced a withdrawal. Under financial and diplomatic pressure, Britain and France withdrew. Politically, it was a disaster. It was a clear sign that whoever controlled the canal held immense global power, and that major moves could not ignore Washington or Moscow. Nasser emerged politically victorious. The canal was now in Egyptian hands. Today, the Suez Canal is wider, deeper, and more vital than ever. The ships that pass through it are some of the largest machines on Earth. Around 12% of global trade now passes through this single waterway. That all changed on March 23, 2021. The Ever Given, one of the largest container ships in the world, a vessel actually longer than the Eiffel Tower is tall, was making its way through the canal when it got caught in a sudden high-velocity sandstorm. The powerful winds pushed the giant ship sideways, and its bow became firmly wedged into the sandy eastern bank. Its stern then swung around and lodged against the western bank. The 200,000-ton ship was stuck fast, completely blocking the waterway. The world's most important shortcut was suddenly slammed shut. Within hours, a line of ships began to form at both ends of the canal, in the Mediterranean, in the Red Sea, carrying billions of dollars worth of goods. Tiny-looking tugboats and dredgers struggled to free the behemoth. The incident became an internet sensation, but for governments and corporations, it was a slow-motion catastrophe. Each day, the canal remained blocked. The cost kept mounting, with estimates putting the value of delayed goods at over $9 billion per day. Companies relying on just-in-time systems faced shortages. Automakers worried about missing parts. Livestock carriers and energy flows were affected. Others rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope, a weeks-long fuel-guzzling detour adding huge cost and delay. After 6 agonizing days of dredging and tug operations, helped by a high spring tide, the Ever Given was finally refloated. A collective sigh of relief echoed around the world. Not just a ditch in the desert, but a vital artery of the global economy. A testament to engineering ambition and a permanent symbol of strategic power that nations will continue to fight over for centuries to come. The recent new Suez Canal expansion created parallel channels to increase capacity, an attempt to reduce the single point of failure risk. For the United States, China, Russia, and European powers, passage through Suez is essential, commercially and for projecting naval power. Nearly 20,000 ships a year pay fees that are a cornerstone of the Egyptian economy, billions in revenue and a source of leverage. The Ever Given crisis sparked urgent talks about alternative routes, transshipment hubs, and building more resilient supply chains, but none are simple or cheap. Its geography is its power. For the foreseeable future, this narrow band of blue carved through the yellow sand will remain at the center of world affairs. Not just a ditch in the desert, but a vital artery of the global economy, a testament to engineering ambition and a permanent symbol of strategic power that nations will continue to fight over for centuries to come.